this park film because I have a few hours today because my mom is watching my kids. And so every once in a while she gets to come in and let me have a day to get away and do my own thing. So that's what I'm doing today. And I came to this park, which is actually really nice. The parking lot, not so great, but the park is actually nice. I've never actually been to this park. I'll have to bring the kids. When it's cooler, because it's like 90 degrees already today. But I swear I hear some like loud noise. Do you hear that? It sounds like a horn that won't stop. There is like a hospital or something. There's probably gonna be like people coming up and being like, what is this weirdo lady doing? I'm just FaceTiming somebody, right? There, now you can see me. So, like I've said in my last couple of videos, I have read a lot of books this year, and I just started my YouTube channel, so I decided I wanted to do like some catch-ups. So I'm trying to do a video for every month, up to where I am now, which right now it's the middle of August. So I'm gonna try to post at least one of these a week. So we'll see when I get caught up, you know. Anyway, so I am on March, so I'm gonna try to get a couple of videos filmed before it gets too hot to sit here, because it's already getting hot. Ugh. I hate Texas in the summer. It's just awful. I hate it so much. Starting this video up real positive, aren't I? I got like no sleep last night because my sweet, darling, beautiful daughter, who is 2, or almost 2, she'll be 2 in a couple of weeks. That girl, I love her. She is so much fun. She's beautiful. She's the best. And normally she sleeps great, but for some reason last night she didn't sleep great. And last winter she did not sleep. Man, that's a really annoying noise. She did not sleep for like a month and a half. And like every night we were up for 2 hours in the night. And I don't like to sleep myself. I struggle with sleeping problems. And I don't like to sleep. I never have liked to sleep. So I end up staying up too late anyway, and then add on top of it a baby waking you up about 7 or 8 times in the night. She and I ended up on the couch where she kept moving and flopping and everything. So I got very little sleep today, or last night. So I'm not real chipper this morning. Anyway, all that to say, as soon as it gets too hot, which my lip is already starting to sweat, that's attractive. As soon as I'm done here, I am going to go to Panera and have some lunch and sit down and edit some videos. And then I've got to run some errands. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. It actually is a nice, beautiful day. It's just stinking hot. Anyway, okay, March 2024. So I read a total of 14 books. 2 I gave 5 star. 5 I gave 4 star, excuse me. 4 I gave 3 star. 2 2 stars, and 1 star. And I DNF'd one book. I DNF'd The Bandit Queens by Perini Schroff. I might go back to that one. I soft DNF'd it. I started it and I wasn't feeling it. And there's explanations of why a lot of this happened in March that I will explain when I get to it. So let's get to it. The first book was a graphic novel called Trinity, A Graphic History of the First Atomic Bomb from Jonathan Fetter-Vorm. I didn't put down how many pages it was. I can't remember. It's a graphic novel. It's not very long. Here's the thing. So I studied radiology in college, and I always really enjoyed. I love physics. If I had to do things over again, I probably would have gone into physics. I love it. Whew. Anyway, I had started this book multiple times over the last like 9 or 10 years, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to finish it. And then I lost it. I couldn't find my copy, so I had to end up ordering another copy of it. Anyway, I gave it a 5-star. It's a fantastic book. I have had a lot of physics training throughout my years, and especially atomic physics, and I learned stuff. There was like single pages that I felt like taught me more than the physics that I had for my college degree. So it was educational, and I feel like I needed to read more graphic novels. I have a hard time reading just books where it's just words. I'm a very slow reader. I get distracted, but I think the graphic novel just kind of helps me with that. So then I read The Lost Symbol. It's the 3rd book in the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown. He wrote, what was the first one? Oh my gosh, what was it? The Da Vinci Code. Then there was Angels and Demons, and then there's this one, The Lost Symbol, and I think there's 1 or 2 books after this one. I loved the Da Vinci Code. I loved Angels and Demons, but it's been like 14 or 15 years since I read those books. But I was like, you know what? I enjoyed those so much. Let me read this one. This book was 17 hours and 47 minutes long. It spans like a week or less. Oh, there's a cute dog and kids. Anyway, I gave it a 3-star. I was not impressed, and I don't plan on reading anymore after that. I don't know. Anyway, Michael Paul did the audio narration, and there is, I think, a book, a movie or a TV show or something, but I haven't seen it yet. So then I read Red Shirts by John Scalzi. As I said in my last video or two, I don't know, our family, or my husband and I, are big Star Trek fans, and this is kind of a Star Trek-y kind of reference book. Or not reference book. It's referring to stuff that happens on Star Trek. Anyway, I thought it was 7 hours and 41 minutes long. Will Wheaton did the narration, and he did a good job. I'm not the hugest fan of Will Wheaton. I mean, he's fine. He's fine. I think he did a great job. There is not a TV show on this or anything, or a movie or anything. It could be. It was really funny. But I gave it a 4, and I can't wait to read more of John Scalzi. I really want to read the, what is it, the villain book. I can't remember. It's got a cat on the front of it. I want to read that. So then I read Anne of Green Gables, the first book, by Lynn Montgomery, and it is 9 hours and 22 minutes long. Rachel McAdams did the audio narration, and she did a fantastic job. Okay, now, I rated it a 5. It is by far a top book. There's no wonder that it's a classic. So, my sister read it last year and became re-obsessed with Anne of Green Gables. We loved Anne of Green Gables growing up. We watched the movies all the time. Then we got hooked onto the TV show that Disney produced, Anne of Avonlea, just Avonlea. I cannot wait to read the rest of these books. Like, it just, so good. So, highly recommend if you haven't read Anne of Green Gables, especially if you have that nostalgia of watching the shows as a kid, do it. So then I read The Woman with the Cure. This was for a book club I went to at our local library. I haven't been to any more. There's a couple of reasons why. I haven't been back to that. I want to go back, but I just haven't. Our lives have been kind of crazy lately. Anyway, it's called The Woman with the Cure. It's about the, let me tell you that. It's by Lynn, Cullen. Hillary Huber did the narration. There is not a film adaptation. It was 12 hours and 1 minute long. I gave it a 4. It was good. It was interesting. But here's my caveat. Okay, so it's about the lady who, and I can't even remember her name. It's been too long. She helped develop the polio vaccine. And I love that. I am enjoying reading books about women in science before they were given the credit. So I've been this fits that. But it was written in historical fiction, and I love historical fiction. It's possibly my favorite genre, but I don't like historical fiction when it's about an actual real person. I'd rather it be more about an event. So now I'm like, okay, this lady was a real person. How much of this book was actually real? So I gave it 4 stars because of that. It was good, but I don't know, struggled there. But it was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was really good. Because it taught about a certain thing that I didn't know a whole lot about. The other thing about that I don't like about historical fiction when it's about an actual person is that, like, in reading this, you got a certain personality from other people that worked on this stuff, and I'm like, it kind of gave me a negative impression about those people, and I'm like, I don't know if they really warranted that. Like, were those people really jerks? I'm gonna take this off. It looks like I got, oof, no. Put it back on. Then my head looks too round. Okay, it doesn't matter. So yeah. Then I read The Soul of Genius, Marie Curie, Albert Einstein, and the Meeting That Changed the Course of Science by Jeffrey Orens. Like I said, I love history and science. So, Grover Gardner was the audiobook narrator, and there's no film adaptation. It was 10 hours and 9 minutes long, and I had such high expectations of this book. Like I said, I've studied a lot of radiation sciences, and Marie Curie, Albert Einstein, and the meeting that they're talking about, I can't remember what the meeting was called and what year it was in, but anyway, like, I was so excited to learn about this, and I was so disappointed in this book. I gave it 3 stars because it wasn't poorly written, but it's not historical fiction. It's a biography about this, but he spent so much time on her supposed affair with this man and how scandalous it was, which I get, but it went on and on and on and on, and I'm like, I get it. She supposedly had an affair and it was quite the scandal, but good Lord, can we get to what the title of the book says it's supposed to be about? Anyway, it did have some very interesting stuff about Albert Einstein that I was unaware of. There's a lot about him that I just recently become aware of, and so I need to read more about him. But okay, then I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and it's the first book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. It's by Holly Jackson. There were multiple narrators in this for the audiobook, and it was done almost, well, each character had a different person doing it. And there's no, oh wait, there might be a film adaptation, but I haven't seen it. Anyway, or maybe they're working on it. I don't know. I haven't seen it though. So many people love this book. I gave it a 2. I did not like this book. First off, it is YA. I do not like YA. I don't know why I didn't look into that first, but now I know. And so yeah. But it's also kind of a thriller, and I'm not a big fan of thrillers, so I have a hard time rating thrillers very high. It has to be really good for me to get. But I was so disappointed in this book. I did not like it. It was fine, I guess, but it did not turn out, in my opinion, with all the hype that it had behind it. The other thing is that I know a Holly Jackson, and at first I was like, wait, she's an author? Not the same Holly Jackson. Then I read The Samurai's Garden, a novel by Gail Tsukiyama. David Shai did the audio narration. He did a great job, I thought. There's no film adaptation to this. It was 8 hours and 48 minutes long. I gave it a 4. I really enjoyed it. It was a very interesting perspective. It was set in Japan, but during World War II. I think it was World War II. Yeah. So it was interesting to get that perspective, but this boy was Chinese, but he was staying in Japan with like a family friend. And so it was interesting. Actually, now I'm starting to doubt, was it World War II or was it a different war between China and Japan? Anyway, things were heating up. It was a good book. It was a kind of coming to age book, which I don't normally usually like, but I liked this one. It was not the book that I was expecting it to turn out to be, but it was good. I gave it a 4 stars. Then for the book club, our neighborhood book club, we read The Invisible Life of Addie, LaRue by Victoria Schwab. Julia Whelan did the narration. I think there's plans to turn it into a movie, or at least the rights have been sold. It is 17 hours and 10 minutes long. I gave it a 2. So many people love this book. I don't know what they like about it. I don't understand. And pretty much that was a large opinion within the group that we read. Like, there were some places she had such a good opportunity to just really go into details about this other stuff, and she just skimmed over it and went into details about this stuff that had nothing interesting, in my opinion. Sorry, I'm getting passionate about this. It's because it's hot and I hadn't had any sleep, so maybe this is the right time to do it. Ah! Drop the phone, sorry. Anyway, I didn't like it, so sorry. So then I read Legends and Lattes. Now, it's the first book in the Legends and Lattes series by Travis Baldry. He did the narration. It was 17 hours and 19 minutes long, and I gave it a 3-star rating, and that's probably where it should land, in my opinion. I had such great high expectations for this book and just felt let down. And I can't explain why. I don't know what it was. I should have liked it so much more, because I love like D&D type stuff, and I don't know, it didn't catch me. Now, let me explain. There may be a very important reason why I voted this one and the next book very low. Actually, I'll just tell you. It was called, the next book I read was Half Spent Was the Night, A Witch's Yuletide, Amy McKay's Witches Book 2. I have not read the first book, so I didn't even know it was a series. It was for the 52 book club challenge for this year, and I had to read a book of a holiday that I don't celebrate, and I picked a book, and this was it. I mean, I'm not a witch, so I don't celebrate this particular. I celebrate Christmas, but not this version, I guess. Amy McKay wrote it. Amy McKay narrated it. It was 1 hour and 35 minutes long, and I gave it a 1 star. The first 1 star of this year. And I absolutely hated this book. Hated it so much. But, like I said, with Legends and Lattes and this book, I need to make some explanation. Right after I read Addie LaRue, I think that was it. Yeah, Addie LaRue. Right after I read Addie LaRue, and either, I can't remember if I had started Legends and Lattes or I started it right after this, but I think I started it right after it, or sometime, I don't know. I had a hysterectomy. So, I think I was in the hospital recovering from my hysterectomy and reading Legends and Lattes. I didn't do much when I was in the hospital. I did more once I came out. So then I came home and started feeling absolutely awful. thinking I was just weak person recovering from surgery. No, I had a major crazy infection stewing in my body. By the time I finally got to the ER, they thought I was septic. They tested me. I was not septic, but I was very close to becoming septic. So they put me on tons of antibiotics. I was better by the next day, but my doctor was so freaked out and scared that he kept me in the hospital for 4 days on crazy amounts of antibiotics. I mean, just mind-blowing amounts of antibiotics. I'm not going to need antibiotics for decades. Not true, but yeah, it was rough. It was rough. So while I'm like really feeling bad and running like 103 temperature, I'm listening to Half Spent Was the Night. So I did not like this book. I don't think I would like it if I were to read it on my best day, but I may not have given it a 1 star if I wasn't dying. So keep that in mind. So then when I was in the hospital, I read Radar Girls. It's a historical fiction by Sarah Ackerman. It was 10 hours and 54 minutes long. It was read by Cassandra Campbell. I enjoyed this. I gave it a 4 star. It is like I said, it's a historical fiction about the women who were in Hawaii, once Hawaii had gotten attacked by the Japanese, the boys, the men, had to go to war. And so the women, there was nobody else, so the women were trained in how to use the radar system. And it was kind of a new system, so it was about them. It's got a romance to it, so if you kind of like that, I'd recommend it. It's good. It's good. Then I read The Enigma Affair, a novel. I don't know why they call it a novel. Anyway, by Charlie Lovett, read by, I'm going to mess this one up, Nicole Zanzarella. It was 12 hours and 6 minutes long. I gave it a 3. It was okay. It reminded me of a Dan Brown book. It was okay. It's a thriller. Then I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. It was read by John Lindstrom. It is a TV show, made-for-TV movie? I don't know. It's got an adaptation. I have not seen it. My husband read the book too, and we keep wanting to watch it, and we just haven't had a chance to. That's not really true. We get chances. There's so many times that we just sit and read at night instead of watching TV. Look at me, I'm starting to melt. I gave it a 4 star. Okay, that was March. I got through that and not died. So I'm gonna try to film another one and then go have lunch. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. You can find me on Amazon. You can't find me on Amazon. You can find me on Instagram, and I also have a Facebook page, I guess. Yes, page. Sorry. Like I said, it's a bazillion degrees in Texas. It's awful. So yeah, that was my March when it was much cooler than it is now. All right, I'll move on to April. Come back next week and see you.